video, I'm going to talk about a movement principle called displacement. It's basically the idea that whenever you initiate tension in your body, that there's going to have to be a compensation somewhere else in your body if you're going to maintain your position. Otherwise, you're going to have some type of accessory movement that you may not want during the exercise that you're doing. I can demonstrate this by bringing my hands up fairly high. I'm going to raise my center of gravity. I'm going to keep my spine fairly straight. I don't want to have any movement. And now when I push my hands away from my body, fast or slow, I'm going to have a little bit of a sway in my axial skeleton to compensate for that. When I bring my hands in, my axial skeleton is going to sway forward into my hands, again to balance out the force that I'm generating with the extremities. It's basically just physics. I'm not really trying to bring myself back or forth. I'm just putting myself in a position where these forces come into play, and I'm able to demonstrate them. Okay? So as far as building a foundation of understanding how to use these principles slowly and progressively, what I can do is just relax my hands, and we're going to revisit the bowing exercise that I showed in an earlier video. If I keep my hands perfectly relaxed, still, I'm going to move my hips forward and bow in one direction. You'll notice that my hands aren't really moving forward or back. I'm trying to initiate the movement through my core and let the shoulder blades compensate for the movement by gliding together. And then what I'm going to do is breathe in, come back to the middle position. This is basically what happens if I initiate again the movement through my core. I'm going to go the other way now. I'm going to bow forward, and my shoulder blades are going to round subtly as I hollow out the front of my body. Okay? And this space here softens up. I'm going to breathe in, come back to the neutral position. There. When I do this exercise to get a feel for this method, I don't want to initiate the tension again through the extremities. I want the shoulder blades to make all of the compensations for my balance. Again, just demonstrating a poor technique for this method is if you feel that you're reaching back behind your base of support with your hands. If I move the hips forward and the hands are fully relaxed, my hands will pretty much remain over my base of support throughout the entire exercise, not reaching back, tightening up the triceps and the rear deltoid muscles, and over time maybe some of the neck muscles as well with improper technique. So again, my hands are dangling down over my base of support, going one way, and then they're still over my base of support. My core does the rest of the exercise. You can see here that may start to resemble some exercises you're familiar with, may be helpful for doing something such as a deadlift. It also helps for people when they're doing bicep curls. A lot of people tend to pull themselves into the weight and sway away as the weight goes down, and then they try to control this or make up for it during the set, which isn't always helpful. You want to try to minimize any of the swaying with slow technique, practice a little bit, and then it's really hard to play catch up mid-rep when you're already fatiguing as well. So just to demonstrate with a bicep curl, I'm bringing my hands up slowly, and what I want to feel is that when I have proper technique is that I'm feeling a change in the awareness and the musculature of the low back, directly opposite the hands. That sensation is going to rise up, again, if my hands are level with the lower portion of my chest, upper mid-rib area. What's going to happen is you want to feel that, again, opposite area directly behind you in the back. And when you lower your hands, you want them to produce that same movement in the downward direction. What you can do to reinforce this is apply the buoy principle that I talked about in an earlier video, pressing through the feet, pushing the head up. Okay? And I'm just going to demonstrate now a simpler method of free weight, without weight, just using your hands method. We apply the buoy principle, keep the head up nice and tall, straight legs. You're going to bring one hand in front, what I'm going to do is curl the fingertips towards my spine so that I can just help focus a little bit more. And now as I apply the buoy principle, I'm going to try to check the integrity of that as I raise my hand in front of me, because it's going to start to challenge it subtly as I go through this movement. And basically, I want to have an uninterrupted awareness in the spine as my hand rides up. And if I do feel any difference in the engagement of the back muscles, they're actually binding or not necessarily coordinated to maintain this position and the stress placed on it by the hands. So what I'm going to do is treat that as the end of my repetition and complete the buoy exercise by sinking through the hips first. So I'm going to lower through the hips and then draw the hands down. I'm going to have a slight bind to help stabilize the core as I bring the other hand across the body, and then apply the buoy, press through the feet, generate the strength to bring the head straight up, and then check the integrity of the spine as relaxed as you're able to get, and then maintain that as the hands ride up. A lot of people with neck issues have difficulty with moving their hands overhead, or just any overhead movements, with especially with weights. If they're going to the gym, they're trying to get overall muscle development, but the brachial plexus, upper shoulder girdle just isn't able to support it, leading to shoulder impingement, neck pain, and different problems like that. So this is a really good way to see if your body's warmed up for higher intensity exercises. And I'm going to bind the other way, curl the fingers inward, then apply the buoy, press the head straight up, and then check my range of motion while maintaining the integrity of the spine as it goes higher and higher. And anywhere, as you're warming up, it's going to start feeling more comfortable down below, and then you're going to feel maybe some sticking points. Each repetition, if you go light enough, should be able to feel comfort increase higher and higher with your range of motion. Will stay fairly relaxed. So just going up and up. And again, this doesn't really stop once your hand reaches the level of your skull, reaches the top of your head. So the upward movement of the hands is driven by pressing through the feet and that upward force of the buoy movement to press the head upward. As long as your body is able to continue generating force to strengthen that component, you're going to actually be able to maintain a relaxed movement of the hands in the upward direction, even while they're going over the height of the head. You're just going to have to continually apply some work to exert the buoy principle there at the top of the head. So I'm just going to do a few more times like that. So again, pressing through the feet, letting the hand float upwards. My awareness has already traveled up the spine, towards the top of the head. Possibly when you're doing these exercises, you may feel a dull sensation on the head. That may increase, and that's where your focal point of stabilizing the movement is going to be as your hand travels up higher. It'll be the top of the head. There's lots of fascia and connective tissue that's anchoring muscles. So you may not feel the muscle activity, you may feel the fascia containing some pressure on the skull. So you don't want to do this too intensely. Again, everything dull, light pressure is the upper level of your exertion as you're doing this, just to check your form. So again, a slight bind, draw the fingers inward, trace the spine upwards as you exert the buoy to push the head. And then when the buoy has that level of intensity that you're comfortable with, relax the fingers right back down, initiating through the hips. So hopefully this helps with a little bit of understanding displacement how the body can stabilize and keep yourself from having unwanted movements during your other exercises. Again, I'll answer any questions. Just contact me on Facebook as well. I'll probably repost another video explaining and answering some questions if I don't in the comments below.